Hey guys, and welcome to Watch Me Shoot with Claire and Babydream backdrops and Bentley and Lace, and I'm going to show you behind the scenes of me shooting her in a dress from Bentley and Lace, and then I'm going to go in and edit these pics for you and show you how easy it is. We shot this first dress in about, I want to say like 9 minutes maybe, or something crazy. And really because they had to get to a basketball game, we were in a hurry, and I had them come in on purpose to film this behind the scenes, and then they were like, oh my gosh, we have a basketball game. I'm like, fine, we'll do real life. We're trying to get this done. So this is about how quick I shoot in studio, and so this gives you a great idea of just how I talk to the girls and what I do and the flow of shooting a dress. So here we go.
Sorry. Maybe so hold a finger like this, because I want to see that it's a two-piece.
Okay.
But yeah, oh, I love that crown. Good choice.
I just saw it had black on it.
I love it. Oh, look at you. I love that attitude. Yes.
You're
Grace.
purple.
Oh, why are you guys perfect? Yes. Now, just stand there just like that and pop. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Grace. This is supposedly the clean versions of all of these songs, but if there's a bad word, I'm going to go ahead and apologize. Yes, you are seriously perfection. Okay, go ahead and grab the top layer of that dress.
Right here?
Yeah, and then we're gonna, yes, you know what to do. Move that way just half a step. There, right there. Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna turn on some fan. Hold on. If you get cold, let me know. Your hair's grown.
Yeah.
It has. It's gotten a lot longer. Oh, that was pretty. Look back outside again. Hold the dress with this hand and bring this hand up like you're gonna get but do it in slow motion. But then take your fingers and kind of like that. Yes, and look out. Yeah, and then keep running your hands down. Yes. Yes. Now hold it up and go back and forth for me. Yeah. Yeah, bring that chin down a smidge. Yes. Yep. Now you're going to do it, you're just going to stand still, and you're going to do knee over knee like this.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. Yeah, and tilt that head. There we go. Towards the light a little bit. Perfection. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Freeze for a sec, and let me make sure this is in focus. Gorgeous, right? Gorgeous. Perfection.
Awesome. Amazing.
Okay, I'm going to point this fan at you because we're going to blow hair.
It's good.
Come up a little bit. Are you cold? Good. You might have to close your eyes for a minute if it gets too much. Oh my gosh, y'all. Your freckles are...
I have
Yes.
to walk through outside every day no matter what the weather at school. So I'm used to it.
So you're up there. Oh my gosh, that was incredible. Take your hands and kind of yes, but then kind of, oh, yeah, freeze. Yeah. It was so pretty. It was literally perfect. You can, I know you can. Do it again. Some of these songs I've never heard. Okay, good. Yes. Yes. Let's take the crown off for just a couple. Did I pull it? Okay. Oh, I know what song this is. What in the world? Come on, April. Get it together. Gosh, I love y'all's pieces in the front that are lighter. Okay, stay right there. Look, kind of bend towards, yes, right there. Child. I know. Okay, scoot over that way. And we're going to keep this fan going, but I want you to kind of whip it, the skirt. Although you might get a rope burn around your waist, I guess.
Wait, what do I do?
Like, yes, ma'am. Keep going, yep. Yeah. Yes, I love how you're doing it from behind, too. Yeah. Yes. Flip it over. Ah, yeah. Okay, now flip back. Ooh, and there we go. Oh gosh, stay right there. Just look at me.
Oh,
Yeah, that board look that you're so good at.
Yeah.
Freeze.
I get that one. Kind of
I didn't lick my hands that way. She's like, don't make me laugh. I'm supposed to look bored. Yeah.
got that sass.
I know.
Oh, it's so.
I know.
It's so
Yes.
perfectly you. I've never.
Okay, we're gonna lay down and then you can change. Okay, hop, step forward a little bit.
Which one do I put on after this?
Whichever one you want. Go ahead and sit. Yep. There you go.
I can just sleep on this.
Now lay back slowly so you don't bump your head. Yeah. There you go. Let me change lenses super quick.
Can I take a picture of her?
What? You can take all the pictures and videos you want, girl.
This is so fun.
Hey, well, I like that.
Me too. Isn't it pretty? It's like flowers. And who doesn't love flowers, right? Yes. Now bring your hands kind of up here, but because I want to see that it's so maybe like pick fingernails. I love your fingernails, by the way.
Yeah, you can.
They were longer than I wanted them, so we had to like cut them.
I love them. Yeah, freeze. I was like, I don't know what song this is, but okay. Add April. Freeze. You gotta get that hair perfect. Yes. Oh, sis. Yes, freeze. Brookie, you're always so patient for me. Thank you. You just happened to be, you were the last up this time. There we go.
Doesn't matter, I like wanting.
Go ahead and look down towards your shoulder, so I get the bottom of your eye, or at the top of your eyelash.
I love you. Massad looks pretty.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was
Does it fit? Yeah, to a T. It's like it was made for you. Yes, look.
Look at Sassy over there. Looking all cute.
I know. Okay, you can hop up.
Hey everybody, so we are going to go ahead and edit these images real quick of Claire. You just watched me shooting Claire in this two-piece dress, and I picked out some ones that I like the best from that little session. We were actually going pretty quickly because they had a basketball game to go to, and they came and modeled for me and let me record it for you guys. So I thought that was really sweet. I've been working with them. There's 3 sisters, and I've been working with them for about a year. The middle sister came in about a year ago, and then I said, well, you have 3 sisters, come in and model for me, and they did, and they're just incredible. All 3 of them, literally all 3 of them are awesome. So I have these images of Claire, and I have them all up because I edit so quickly that for it to be worth your time to watch me do it, I feel like I do it in batches. So I am going to edit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 images at about the same time. So first thing that I do is I bring them in or I export them from Lightroom into a JPEG, and I've brought them all in, and I'm going to go ahead and clean them up real quick. I'm just going to go through my normal workflow. The first thing I do is I clean up any background, anything that's going on in the background or around the bottom of the dress, and I can show you the way I do that. It's really simple. I will select whatever I don't want to be there. So the bottom of the backdrop is kind of showing right here, and I want to get rid of that. So really quick, you can use the patch tool or the lasso tool right here, and you literally just circle it, and then hit delete on the keyboard, and then you just make sure it says content aware and color adaptation is checked, and then you hit OK, and like magic, it's gone. And then you go to filter, select, deselect, or command D, and that's it on that. I'm gonna go ahead. It was getting a little bit dark, so my ISO was up a little bit, but she looks pretty good, honestly. So I'm going to go ahead, and everything else looks fine. I'm not going to mess with anything else. You'll find that my method of editing is very quick. If they have plans of blowing it up and printing it large, I'll obviously spend a little bit much more time on it, and they usually let me know, and I'll go in and do details. But if they're just going to share it on the web or whatever, then I don't really spend that much time on it. So this little hair right here kind of bothering me, so I'm going to just go ahead and deal with that. Now, the thing with hairs is the more you get into it, the more it seems like you get rid of. It's like you get too deep into it and you have to keep going and keep going. So I try to keep it simple. So this looks a little bit messy right here. So sometimes if you go to your patch tool and kind of select that area, yep, it'll kind of take care of it for you. And then the edges you can kind of see there. And then right here, this black, I'm not really a fan of, so I'm gonna choose right here the history brush, and I'm just gonna kind of brush over that a little bit and kind of bring some of that back. Looks good. I'm gonna actually get rid of that guy right there, and I'm fine with that. So that's pretty much it on that image. I'll run portraiture next, but I'm just coming in here and making sure there's nothing I need to clean up or change. That hair blew a little bit wonky. I'm gonna see if I can just deal with this hair. So you can hear me on the video taking tons of shots of this, and that's kind of how you have to do it when you do the hair shots. I'm fine with that. I'm going to go into liquify. It's a little bit straight, that hair. So I'm going to pull it down just a little bit. Yeah, I'm good with that. And it's supposed to be kind of messy, so I'm fine with that. So I'm gonna actually go down into my, it's the Portrait Retouch collection from Greater Than Gatsby. I love it. It has a bunch of great tools in it. I need to do a video where I just go over everything in it. I know what's in it, so I'll usually only use what I need to use. But this all over eye foundation action is great. It's kind of like a one-click wonder, honestly. So sometimes when their eyes are a little bit dark, I'll just kind of brighten them up a little bit. And what's cool about this is you can also use it as a highlighter. So sometimes I'll you know, highlight the end of their nose and their lips and maybe their forehead a little bit. Let's go back. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. On to the next one. Sometimes laying down shots are a little bit tricky with the hair. So I'm gonna bring this hair in just a little bit. And then I'm actually gonna bring this hair up. There we go. And I'm just in Liquify, which is like a best friend. And this little flower right here actually looks like an ear. And I hate ears. I don't hate ears, but actually that's not true. I hate ears in pictures. So I lassoed that and I just am gonna hit delete and it's gone. And I'm fine with those little baby hairs on her face. She is a soccer and basketball player, so her knuckles are a little bit dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and just eraser those. Some mega retouchers are so anti-eraser tool, and I mean, this is probably not going on the cover of a magazine or on a billboard. So I am it's right here. I'm a spot healer friend. That looks pretty good. This rib of hers though, let's see if we can kind of tone that down a little bit. Oopsies. I chose lasso instead of patch tool. So what you do with the patch tool, oh, that didn't work well. Let's see what happens if I delete it. Ah! Okay, so sometimes this happens. I'm going to zoom in and show you. So every once in a while, this is what happens when you do this, and it's fine. Go over, if you didn't know this, go to the history panel. And then you're just gonna go back to where you started to do it. See, no big deal. There's another way I can do this with clone. Sorry, I'm on lighten. So what I'm gonna do is, that's a little bit much. So then I'm gonna take my history brush and kind of smooth it out a little bit. There we go, that's better. Okay, on to the next one. This looks pretty good. It's a little bit light. I'm going to get rid of this distracting white piece of dress. And this one, it's actually the crinoline that keeps it, oh, whoopsies, okay. It's actually the crinoline that makes it poofy. Sometimes it sticks out. I'm happy with that. Although it's a little bit dark, so I'm gonna Command L and bring it down just a little bit. Let's see. Her hair is supposed to be messy in this one, so I'm fine with that. I don't know, like this. So really what I'm doing when I'm going through here and cleaning these images up is I'm just kind of like looking at them overall just to see what's distracting, and whatever's distracting, I'm going to try to get rid of. So I'm going to do the, I don't do the eye foundation on every image, but sometimes their eyes are a little bit darker. That looks good. Okay, and here's the last image. She is such a cutie. And I think that looks pretty good, honestly. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to portraiture's my next step always. And I do it like this because I'm going to show you how I can quickly run through portraiture. So when I choose or open up portraiture, I choose this little eyedropper, and I always choose the skin. Not always, most of the time I choose in between the eyebrows, just because historically that just seems to be the right spot for me. So actually, hold on. I'm going to come back out here. Okay, so I am going to actually Command J and do this on another layer. I'm skip that step. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go to Filter, Portraiture. Such a time saver, and I'm such a simple person. Like anything that saves me time sold. So like I said, I'm going to take that eyedropper and go in between her eyebrows. I'm going to hit OK and see how that is. She has freckles. I don't want the freckles to be gone. See, it smoothed everything out, but her freckles are still visible. So I'm okay with that. If I wasn't okay with that, I'm going to take this layer over here and I'm going to actually make a layer mask. Okay, and notice that it's white. I'm going to click. Actually, I'm going to go to my brush and then I'm going to change that to black. And then I'm going to bring my opacity down to about 29 or so. And then I'm going to paint back portraiture where her freckles are. So that brings it back a little bit. I just love freckles and I don't like it when they go away. So it's made this beautiful, it's smoothed out her hair, but then we still have this skin down here and on her belly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through all the other images, and I'm going to run really quick portraiture on their face, and then I'm going to come back and run it on their belly, and then I'm going to go through and run that portraiture. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to hit Command J for a new layer. All I have to do now is go to Filter, and right here at the top of the drop down filter is going to be the last filter that you applied. So all I have to do is hit Portraiture, and it's automatically going to run that another portraiture layer exactly how I did it on the other image, and that actually looks pretty good. I'm good with that. On to the next one. Command J again, new layer, Filter, Portraiture. Yep, looks good. Smoothed out her hair beautifully. It actually, since her belly was towards the light, it actually did a good job of smoothing out her belly too, so that's cool. So this one might be a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to Command J and I'm going to run portraiture and see how it does. I have a feeling it's going to do a good job on her hand and maybe not so much on all of her face. No, actually it did perfect on everywhere. I'm happy with that. Maybe a little bit of, let's bring a little bit of freckles back. So like I said, I have made a layer mask, and then my layer mask is white, okay? So what it's doing is it's moving the portraiture that I've applied to it over here, and then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to make my brush black, and then I'm going to paint over this layer, and it's going to take away whatever I've done to the image in that other layer. I'm good with that. Command J, portraiture, let's see what it does to the belly. Oh, that's so pretty. I mean, it did an okay job on the belly. I might have to come back and do hers. This one's a little bit lighter, actually. I'm going to Command L, and I'm going to bring down the levels just a smidge. I did the shadows or midtones on that. Okay, Command J again, and I'm going to run that portraiture layer. Bloop. I'm going to paint back some freckles. It kind of smoothed it out quite a bit because it was a little bit lighter. Yeah, there we go. Next, Command J, new. I'm just duplicating that layer. Oh yeah, that did a good job. I'm going to paint back those freckles though. When you do it like this, it just makes it so much faster. Command J, or new layer. Portraiture. Yeah, it did a pretty good job on her face, but again, I'm gonna go ahead and paint them back because I just love those little freckles. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm gonna do portraiture again. Actually, I'm gonna flatten this image because I'm good with that. I'm gonna go back to portraiture, because I'm going to do this layer from the skin on her midriff. Let's see. That is going to get some of her hair too. Like if you see right here, you can see where you're putting it. So if I put the eyedropper, let's say over here, you can see it's mostly her face and her forearms. But then if I put it on her midriff, you can see that it gets that skin around her neck and her darker hair. So I'm going to go ahead and choose that, and let's see what happens. See how it really overly smoothed out her face? So what we're going to do is, oopsies, I did not make a new layer, did I, guys? So, okay. So if you forget to do that, this is a little trick. Just go back to history and go back to flatten image, and then Command J, and then just go back to portraiture again. So I'm going to mask this off, and I'm going to actually bump this up to about 60. And I'm going to get this off of her face and her hair, because I'm cool with it down here. Like, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and flatten. I'm going to go to the next layer. Next photo. I'm going to layer. I'm going to flatten. I'm going to make a new layer. We're going to run portraiture again that I did on her belly. It did a good job, like I said. So, or you can do the opposite. So you can do a layer mask, and then you can do Command I, and that's going to invert it. So that is going to make your image back to what it originally was, but this black layer is going to be what you did to it. So this black layer right here would be the portraiture that we did. So then we're going to switch our brush color to white, which is the opposite of this, because we want to go ahead. Actually, I'm going to bump my opacity up to about 77 or so. And I'm painting this on now. And then if it's a little bit heavy-handed, you can always go to your opacity of the layer mask, and you can bring it up until it looks right. That looks good to me. I'm going to go ahead and flatten that. I'm going to flatten that. A new layer. We're going to do portraiture on it again. Pretty good, but I'm going to go ahead and invert that. So I'm going to do a layer mask, Command I, and then I'm going to paint on the areas that I want to do portraiture on. So it'd be her hand, and then I'm going to flatten. Okay, same thing. Layer mask, Command I, invert it, then I'm going to paint it on. Portraiture also works well if you have a dress that is wrinkled or a shirt that's wrinkled. You can usually use it if it's anywhere in the family of a skin color category. You know what, this image I'm fine with. I don't need to do her midriff on. That one looks good too, because it was a little bit lighter. I'm going to go ahead and run it on this one. Command J, a new layer, filter, portraiture. Yeah. And then layer mask, Command I to invert. Make sure your brush is white or the opposite color of the layer mask. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint it in. And that one's done. Now we're on the last image. Beautiful. Layer mask, Command I to invert. I'm going to paint that midriff. Beautiful, darling, just beautiful. Alrighty, so all of these images are pretty much done with the first two steps, all 8. Now I am going to go ahead and run my actions. So my actions that I use on almost every, I would say 99% of my studio shots are edited with Painterly Portrait Collection from Greater Than Gatsby. The link to that will be below in the description of the video. They are my ultimate favorite. I've been using them for years and years and years. I can hand edit. It's a good skill to know, but I only use it if I have to because I don't like sitting in front of the computer. I like shooting and I want it to be as fast as it can. So actions make my life so much easier. And I'm going to show you how they even run even faster. So I'm going to run the same action on every single one of these images. So with all of these images open within Photoshop, I am going to go to File, Automate, Batch. It's going to pull up a screen. You're going to make sure that your source is opened files. You can choose different ones if you want, but I want to see all of mine. I want to be able to manipulate them. You can go to the set that you want to use. It will automatically go to the last action set that you use. So the last one I used was the Portrait Retouch collection when I bumped up her eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Painterly Portrait Collection. The first one, not the two. The two I like okay, but I use the first one most. Then if you drop down to your action, you can choose whatever action you want. I use Leonardo first almost every time, and then you hit OK. And what it will do is it will run this action on every single image that you have open. It runs faster or slower just depending on your computer speed. I'm on my larger iMac right now. It runs a little bit faster on my computer, but I like the larger screen sometimes on my iMac, so I will edit with that. So what it's doing right now is it's just running through all of these images. I love this action set, like all-time fave, and they always run specials and it's awesome. So you can see that it made it quite a bit brighter. So the second action that I run on these images, I'm going to go back. You can run another action on top of that. So you go to File, Automate, Batch. The second action I always run is same action set, but it's under Painterly Tones and it's Campbell's Soup Cans. I'm going to OK, and it's going to run that on every one of them. This doesn't take as long. It's not as intense of an action. So you can see that it made it all bright and beautiful. Sometimes it'll warm it up a little bit too much depending on what your temperature was in the images that you shot. So when it's a little bit too warm, all I do is go into Campbell's Soup Cans and I go down to warm highlights, and you can turn that on or off or adjust it accordingly. I kind of like the warmth in it, honestly. I'm good with that. If it's a little bit bright, you can click on Leonardo Foundation and go to your opacity and change it just a little bit if it's a little bit too bright for you. But I kind of like it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it like that. Love it. And that's literally it. So I'm going to flatten this image. I'm good with this image. Is she not just beautiful? I just love her. She always has the best eye contact too. I'm going to save it. Close it. On to the next one. Ugh, perfection. I don't even have to do anything. I'm not even going to do anything to that. God, that child is beautiful. Sometimes if you have a black dress, it will this action set will put a little bit of some blue tones into the blacks, and you can always paint that back if you don't like that. So you can see here it's a little bit blue, but not anything that I'm really worried about. So it is a little bit bright. What this Leonardo foundation does is it brightens those shadows quite a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and go to brighten shadows, and I'm going to tone it down just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, and I'm good with that. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten. Oopsies. Getting ahead of myself there. Photoshop's like, hold your horses, lady. So I'm going to save it. And on to the next one. Oh my gosh, is that not just so pretty? Oh, it's so pretty. Like, I'm good with that. I'm not even going to make you guys sit here while I save these. I'm just going to go through them all. Ugh, so pretty. That's literally perfect. I might bring the shadows down just a smidgey. Yeah. Ugh, so pretty. Next one. Oh my gosh, is that not so pretty? Oh, this dress and Claire in this dress is just so great. Oh, so pretty. Perfect. I don't even have to do anything to it. And so that's it. Like, that's literally it. Okay, it's that easy. So, okay, let's hold on just a second. So let's say you didn't like the sort of blue cast that's in this dress. I'm going to show you how to fix that. So I'm going to flatten this image. Okay. So I know that this is a blue tone, but there's little flowers, blue flowers, right? They look like maybe more cyan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here in adjustments, and I'm going to go into hue saturation. Okay. So it's going to pop up this new layer with the layer mask. That's your hue saturation layer mask. So you're going to go to master, and you're going to go down to blues. Okay. You're going to go to saturation, and you're going to pull it down. Do you see how that made it a true black? I'll show you what I'm seeing. See? So let's say it's bothering me. I'm going to bring that saturation down. I'm going to click on this white layer. I'm going to invert it because I want to paint it back. Okay. So I'm going to Command I. Okay. See how it took it away? But what is on this black layer is what I did to it. So I'm going to make sure my brush is a white brush, which is the opposite of this. And then I'm going to take this in here, and I'm just going to paint where there's blue. Now I'm trying to kind of like avoid those flowers because they're blue and I like those. Sometimes we get color casts on our hands, on our body. Sometimes the dress color will be weird. And if you can look at it with your eyeball and see what you need to change in it, you can usually do that with this hue saturation layer. I'm going to show you before, after, before, after. So then you bring that true black back into the dress. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, so you can go into your history and, you can actually go into your history, go back to your original. So there's the before, and there's our after. Before, after. Beautiful, Claire. And that's it, honestly. That's it. That's it. Totally uncomplicated. Took no time at all. I mean, it wouldn't have taken me long if I weren't walking you guys through it. So you can see how easy it is when you use actions. You get a good straight out of camera shot like that. So good. So good. See, you could get the blue out of this, but I'm not even going to bother because all the colors just look beautiful. And that's it on that. Okay, well, I hope that was helpful and you learned a few things. I'm pretty simple with my editing, and I like to keep it as simple as possible, and batch editing and with actions just does it for me. So if you have any questions, be sure and comment below. I have provided links to the actions that I used below the video and portraiture, and be sure to check out my other videos, and if you have any questions about any of those, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.